Hey everyone, it's Manalord, and I am here to talk about Big Brother 14. Woo! Fun stuff! Yeah, no. Okay. So, we meet the cast, and, let's go through them. Ashley, mobile spray tanner, looks kind of like a hippie. I think she will suck. Like, I don't think she knows how to play the game. And she will probably not do so well. Then there's Danielle. Yeah, she reminds me of both of the previous Danielles from Big Brother 8, 13, and the one from 3. She's kind of villainous, a little ditzy. I think she will place, maybe in the top 7 or 8, because she probably can stab people in the back, which can usually do good. Then there's Frank. Boring. I don't know. Big Brother fan. No. He's on a bad team. He's just not gonna do well. Then there's Ian. I think Ian won. He's Ian. I think he'll do really good in this game. He looks smart. He can definitely play any side. And I think he's going to be able to work the twist very well. There's Jen. I'm pulling for Jen and Ian, personally, those two. I think that Jen is very interesting as a player, and she reminds me a lot of Nokomis from Season 5. So, I'm a big Nokomis fan, so I'm hoping Jen can live up to that name. Then there's Jody. She seems interesting, but really, I don't, no, not really. She definitely reminds me of Kalia, and I didn't really like Kalia. So, maybe it's best she got. Yeah. Then there's Joe. He's a chef. He looks like he's gonna be really boring. I gotta say, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's gonna be fun to watch. So, yeah. Then there's JoJo, and JoJo is going to be an interesting player. I think she's going to be very out there, very big, and making the moves, power moves. So I think she'll go pretty far. Kara, I don't know. She seems like another player. Who's gonna just be there, kind of float to the end. I don't know. She reminds me a lot of Jordan. I like Jordan, but I don't think Kara's gonna live up to that name. Then there's Shane, who I gotta say I think is not gonna go very far as soon as he's just gonna be a target really early. A lot, because he's gonna be like that big guy that everyone targets. Will is really boring. He's just so out there and flashy, and I don't know. I liked two of the previous Wills, Dr. Will and Will from Big Brother 5. Those two of my more favorite competitors. This Will, he ain't doing it for me. So, I don't think he's going to go far, because he's really just, I think he's going to be kind of obnoxious. And there's Willie. And everyone already knows he's Russell's brother. It took him like 10 seconds. He's not going to go far if he doesn't play a game more like Brandon and Russell's to begin with. Because Brandon was definitely in a much better spot than Russell in his third time playing. But Willie's going to have to see that he's more like a Brandon character, and he could definitely get a lot further. But really, that's all up. Then we have the returning house guests. Not many surprises here. Originally, I heard it was supposed to be Dan, Janelle, Boogie, and Rachel, and they had a couple other people sequestered just for backup because Rachel was wavering. That person was Brittany. So in the end, Brittany got to come back. However, we don't know if that rumor is true, but we're going to assume it isn't because Brittany is there. So Janelle, obvious choice, best competitor ever. Boogie. best winner ever. Dan, best social game ever. And Brittany, best diary room person ever. She's up there with Danny. Two of them are the best ever. So the twist, they all get to pick teams, and if one of their three people win, they're going to win the game. Now, I believe that they had this draft, and they got to pick by Danielle, no, what was it? Brittany, Janelle, Boogie, and then Dan, and they went backwards and then backwards again. So Brittany's team wound up being Willie, Shane, and JoJo, if I'm correct. And then Cara, Danielle, and Jody were Dan's team. Frank, Joe, and Will were Janelle's. And then, no, Ian, Frank, and Jen were Will's. Not Will's, all Boogie's. And the other three were Janelle's. And so they all got to compete for the game, and they had to jump on these beds. And one was going back and forth, one was spinning, and then one was like a teeter-totter. And then whichever team won, that mentor would get to pick who was HOH, and the team that came in last, the mentor had to pick someone to cut right away. So Brittany's team won, and Brittany chose Willie to be the first HOH. So, and she said it would be good for him because he can work some deals. That's only he's going to stay for a while. And then Dan's team came in last, so Dan's kind of pissed. So Cara is the one who scored first team, so he's like, I'm going to pick between Danielle or Jody. And in the end, he picks Jody. So Jody is the first one evicted. No goodbyes. And rumor has it she's in sequester. So is she coming back? Probably, as there's only 12 down to 11 on the first night. Now, there's another power coming next week. And Willie will nominate 2 people. Who knows what that's going to do? And people point out the mentors have keyholes under their picture. So, while Julie Chen said they're playing for 100,000, she never said they weren't playing for 500. And she also never said that when they're going to leave. So, there's only 2 possibilities. One is when all 3 of their people leave, they are out. Or when all 3 leave, they're in the game for themselves. There's also a possibility that the twist will end at a certain point, like most twists do, and they'll be playing for their own game. And so no matter what, they get money if one of the people wins or they win. Either way, it's one of the 3. I don't know what it is, and I will keep you posted if I find out. Aside from that, I'm going to say right now that my personal favorites, if it's just allowed to be newbies in the final 2, would be Ian and Jen. If it isn't, I'd probably want to see Janelle in the finals. I think she really deserves to win the game. I think that Janelle and Boogie are going to be working together this season, and Brittany's probably going to jump on that ship, and they're going to kind of gun for the Dan group pretty early. And then probably going to be targeting Janelle's group, because Boogie's going to be like, I'm not going to keep you around. But this whole on bad terms thing is definitely an act, because right away you see them buddy-buddy talking strategy. So I think that having them coming back almost as like a pair themselves is pretty bad. And I think that replacing Rachel with Dan would have been a better idea, or someone else from BB12, as it would give Brittany kind of a mutual ground as well. But we shall see how this works. And for now, that's pretty much it, and I will be back on Sunday. I think it's Sunday, to talk about nominations. We'll be back on Wednesday for the Power of Veto episode, and then next Thursday for a lovely episode about live fiction. So for now, I'm signing off, and this is Manalord.